Welcome to my channel.
Story 1. Wife cheated. Now her trash is my treasure. This is how my husband learned out his ex-wife was having an extramarital affair. They had been together for 19 years and married for 14 of those years. He was a nice husband, and we were lucky to have him. Belief, kindness, and love are all qualities that describe you. She'd made an adequate wife for her husband. That's why she treated him more like a friend than a romantic partner, even after so many years of marriage. But they were inseparable, and he was there for the long haul. Within a year, she had become the most reclusive and distant person she had ever been. Eventually, he couldn't bear the gap any longer and attempted a conversation with her about it. She expressed her displeasure. She'd already left. They hadn't had times X in 6 months. To him, it was something he needed to improve on. A half-hearted attempt at therapy ended abruptly when the therapist realized he was wasting his time with her. She left the house. To make him look guilty, she concocted an absurd list of excuses. She tarnished his reputation, and as a result, many of their close friends turned their backs on him. He was perplexed and crushed, and despite his best efforts to defend them, he eventually gave in and divorced her. During their divorce proceedings, a lady told them that they were the happiest marriage she had ever seen. The reason is him. He treated her with care and respect right up until the end because that's just who he is. She divorced her first husband and remarried a year later, in a different part of the C time zone tree. Let's fast forward to the moment of our wedding. A Facebook message from his ex-best wife's friend congratulated him. She claimed to have no contact with his ex-girlfriend and to have been banished from her life. His ex-adultery wives during the last years of their marriage prompted her to leave him, she claimed. He was a good man, she added, and she always felt sorry for him. She admitted that she should have told him. His life had improved greatly, and he was relieved to learn the genuine reason she had broken up with him. My treasure has become her trash. My friend and I have known each other since junior high, and now we've found each other 30 years later. He is my true love and the reason for my recovery from a disastrous previous marriage that ended in divorce and my mother's death. I owe a debt of gratitude to him and his philandering ex-wife, which is ironic. Redditor 1. I presume it's his ex-wife's ex-best friend. Redditor 2. So your husband's ex-wife had an affair with a man or a woman. Redditor 3. I wish I could upvote this 1,000 times. Story 2. When I pestered him for it, he jobed me his Facebook ID and password. I wanted to remain anonymous because I never share anything with anyone, but I figured screw it. It's been years now. So I was a young, immature, and sweet 16-year-old, and I knew this 2-year-old man from another school. He was one of the S-times men I'd ever seen, and I was a total dork. He was the epitome of cool. Tall, hot, musician, biker, tattoos, and all that jazz. I was fat, had average features, and was, most significantly, unintelligent. It was obvious that a nerd like me would fall for him. I mean, lovely and innocent gals constantly fall for fierce tattooed bikers. Bollywood film sip, he, too, had an emotional side. He was a writer, and he used to confide in me about his issues. He used to contact me at 12:30 a.m. every night, text me constantly, literally 24/7, and tell me about his faith. He was Muslim, his dreams, and his aspirations. I was also a part of them. I was convinced he was the one. I was head over heels in love with him after only 3 months of knowing him. He knew a lot of girls and was well liked. He had some 4K people on FB, and most of them being girls. On his images, many commented, "Beautiful, S*I body. Your partner must be lucky, blah blah." I just knew a couple of them because they attended my school, and I have no idea about the other girls. They didn't disturb me either. He informed me they were all his pals, which I accepted. I put far too much faith in him. Yes, I was so great that those lovely girls didn't disturb me in the least. He wasn't a romantic, but he proposed to me over WhatsApp. I told him to wait a little longer because his exams were approaching and I didn't want to disturb him, which irritated him, and he didn't call that night. It was upsetting me a lot, so I called him at 3 a.m. The woman answered, said he was sleeping, and then disconnected without listening to me. The next day, he informed me she was his best friend's sister, and she needed to call someone, so she took his phone before he went to bed. I didn't believe the act, but I didn't want to cast doubt on him. I'm not sure how I had so much faith. I believe he lost interest because he was responding slowly and we weren't seeing each other very often. So I called him and asked him to meet, and we set a date. I'd message him, and he'd respond hours later. I'd call, and he'd tell me to call back later. He was unconcerned. He didn't respond for an entire day, so I proposed to him out of desperation. He gave a nice response. I was overjoyed because I was finally in a relationship. We were supposed to meet the next day. I informed my cousin about everything because he was the only person who knew about him. He was stalking him on Facebook, and something didn't seem right. He inquired whether I'd rusted him. I obviously did. I told him how much I disliked his closest friend, but that everything else was good. He instructed me to request his Facebook ID and password and observe his reaction. I didn't want to do it, but I agreed anyway. I pressured him to give me his password all day, and he just refused. He told me to check it out when we next met, but he refused to give it to me. I was beginning to question him as well. I went on like this for hours until he consented on one condition. "I can see you don't trust me. If I give you my password, we won't talk again." He wanted to end everything since I asked for his password and he said yes. He showed me his password and then stopped responding. I opened his ID and looked for his best friend's chat, but he had deleted it. I didn't touch anything but deleted hers. Strange. I opened other chats, and there it was, everything. There were so many S*X chats, nudes, and even his nudes. He was still S*X staying with 2 more girls. When I called him and questioned why he'd done it, he simply stated that he did not. He still refused to accept. I disconnected since I didn't have anything to say. I hadn't texted him in a week, and he hadn't even said hecko, let alone apologized. But I needed to communicate so badly that I texted him again, and he continued on as if nothing had occurred. I wanted to forgive him, but all I needed was an apology, and today I'm pleased he didn't. Later, I discovered that his best friend was his high school girlfriend, and the woman who answered the phone was his landlord's daughter, with whom he was having an affair. He was truly extremely smooth. I worked on my appearance and wardrobe. This is what rejection does to you, and I wanted to change. I did evolve. Maybe I was ugly and unattractive, but I was content and loved myself. Today I look better and speak better, but something isn't quite right. I'm still insecure and have serious trust issues. I still don't trust people who say I'm attractive or pretty. In fact, I've never felt gorgeous since. Now I just try to push folks away. When people tell me they love me, I still hunt for reasons. I'm insecure about my face and figure, and I hate those who chose others based on their appearance or support cheating. But he taught me a valuable lesson, and I will never forget him. I began writing because he enjoyed it. In just a few months, he taught me a lot. And I will always be grateful to my cousin. P.S. To my friends who are reading this, I apologize for not telling you all of this sooner. It was a one-day relationship, so it didn't seem all that important. I hope you understand. Redditor 1. Immature pretty ladies falls in love with badass guy, gets played. Stop trusting every other guy for that badass guy. Rejects the good guys and break their heart who was gathering courage for months. Guy transforms, turns badass. Innocent pretty ladies fall in love with him, get played. And the earth keeps rotating. Redditor 2. Hacking and invading others' privacy is a big no-no. Particularly if you have a partner later on in life who is trustworthy. And especially do not trust the spam in the comments here about hacking into email times aunts and whatnot. If you live in the US, that is illegal. It is an invasion of privacy. If any of your prospective partner attempted to control you in that way, you would want out too. Certainly not all men are unfaithful, as you can tell from the answers here too, of men who have been betrayed. Please don't let the scars of this relationship turn you into someone suspicious and have that get into the way of any healthy relationships you can have. Do you ever read Franklin Veeks's answers? I think you will find them helpful and enlightening. I wish you the best, and to be able to let go. Redditor 3. Girls need to understand that in Muslim culture, wives are put on a pedestal. As times X is for making babies. Mistresses are sometimes who they have fun with. I've heard many Muslim men say that they don't allow their wives to give them S times X because those are the lips that kiss my children. Seriously. Though times remit in a complex runs throat with these males. Redditor 4. As a fellow Indian, I am telling you Bollywood is shit. The amount of brainwashing it provides on relationship and other things is magnanimous. So, try to avoid it. I am glad you are trying to overcome it fully, though insecurities and mistrust comes naturally after someone cheats. But always remember, you are beautiful, really, and you deserve the best. Continue working on yourself and be the best version. You are brave. Take care. Redditor 5. After true love, a few week-old relationship and breakup story at 16 all and behold, you turned into a professional life guru. Redditor 6. No, I am not any expert. Plus, yes, I am a guru to my friends mostly because I am single P and I know it's no big deal. I'm 20 today and know it doesn't matter anymore. But don't you think these little things make us what we are?
Thank you for watching. Comment what do you think about this situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe.